The Springfield Armory Model 2020 Rimfire, tactical version. Let's check it out. Now, Springfield Armory has just released their Model 2020 Rimfire, and this again is the tactical model. This really is very comparable to their Waypoint, which is a centerfire rifle in .308 6.5 Creedmoor. In fact, the stock configuration is the same. It has a really beautiful synthetic stock with a pistol grip, cheek piece. The trigger is a Remington 700 pattern trigger, and it's got the bull barrel. I mean, it's got a lot of cool features that'll really allow you to get set up for competitive shooting, which is one of the fastest growing competitive sports out there. 22 Rimfire, it's a lot of fun, and it's low report, it's accurate, and it's fairly inexpensive to shoot, and it's very attractive to most people. But this was also released at the same time of their classic model, and this is just a beautiful walnut wood stock, matte finish, tapered barrel, great for the field. And really, it's just two different animals. And while there's a lot of similarities between these two rifles, there are a lot of differences. So we wanted to do separate reviews on each one. Now, we want to give a special thanks to GetZone.com for putting this together with Springfield Armory. GetZone.com is one of the most Second Amendment friendly video platforms out there. Whether it's shooting, whether it's hunting, all kind of outdoor sports, check out GetZone.com. Springfield Armory has just released their Model 2020 Rimfire rifles. This is in .22 long rifle. It's the first time that I've seen Springfield Armory offer a .22 in rifle or handgun. So it was really a surprise to me when they came out with these. This is the tactical model, and it's set up a lot like the new Waypoint from Springfield Armory, but it's a centerfire caliber rifle. And this, it makes it a great companion. Shooting .22, getting all the same controls and the feel of it. Then we have the classical model, and the classic is a walnut stock, more traditional, more tapered barrel, lightweight option. And so it gives us two completely separate type .22 rifles. And guys, the one thing about .22, it's just so versatile. And so what we're going to do is we're going to review the tactical model. I have a separate review on the classic, and one of the reasons is they're very similar in a lot of ways, but there are some differences just enough to where I think that it's important to kind of look a little bit closer at each one. Now, the guys that are going to be buying the tactical model are not necessarily the guys that are going to be buying the classic model, and vice versa. These are two separate different type rifles. They're two different appeals, and so that's really what led to the two reviews. The tactical model has a bull barrel, it has a composite stock, has an enlarged throw lever for the bolt. It has a threaded barrel, while you have the classic model, which has again that walnut stock, which is extremely beautiful. It comes in a number of different grades. It has a standard round bolt, and it has a more of a tapered barrel. And I'll have the full review annotated right here. We're going to be releasing them at the same time. Guys, definitely when it comes to just the classic model, it's just a light, handy .22 rifle. You know, to me, everyone needs a good .22 rifle. And this just makes it really nice to take out into the field, just to go hunting, just to do some plinking and shooting. And yet, it's a very accurate rifle with an exceptional trigger. And this is one of those type guns that you can pass down and make it an heirloom piece. Guys, one of the big appeals of a tactical rifle like this is that it allows you to get behind the bench and just get as comfortable as possible. And that's one of the things about shooting for accuracy, is when you can really get comfortable, feel one with the rifle, that makes a huge difference with being able to focus on your shots. And I think that's one of the things that this type stock really allows. Obviously, it's heavier than the classic model, but then it's just more stable sitting on the bench. And so that is one of the big appeals of this rifle. And with .22 rimfire becoming more and more of a competitive sport, I mean, that is really growing. I think that this is an excellent option for that. One of the things about the Model 2020 is they guarantee a 1-inch group at 50 yards. And that's with quality ammunition and somebody that has some skill. Now on the competition model, we have one of the enlarged mag releases. With the standard, it's just a little button. And here we have just a 1022 pattern magazine. And so these are cross-compatible with your 1022. And these rotary box magazines really have been proven. These are marked Springfield Armory. And to be honest, when we were at the range, these were a little bit easier to load than the 1022 magazines that we had. Very nice mags, steel feed lips, and that proven rotary design. And when you're entering it back in, it just goes in with a snap. The bolt handle is at the 60-degree angle, which is optimal, and it just comes up really smooth. And then it has this enlarged handle. And this really just allows you to have a little more to grab hold of. It has the angles. And again, when you're doing competitive shooting, it's really nice to have that little bit of an enlargement. Now, this is threaded, so you could possibly change this out for something else if you wanted. But to me, this is a really nice bolt handle. On the Classic, it's just a round, traditional bolt handle. The bolt has a dual cam locking action. First, with the bolt handle, that is part of your locking system. It locks down, gets your bolt into place. But if you'll notice this disc at the back, this also locks into place against the other side. So you have two different contact points for your bolt. Just gives it more stability. And here we have our safety, safe, and fire. And it's really intuitive right there. You can just put your thumb up to it, makes it really fast, and it's just in that right spot. Now the small lever here is to release your bolt, and so you just depress it, then just lift up your bolt and it'll come right out. Now the bolt is 4140 steel. It has a hard chrome finish on it, which makes it super slick, easy to clean, and it's just like glass. It is so smooth and slick. But the machining on this bolt is just excellent. I mean, they've really done a great job. And then here at the back, of course, it has that matte blue finish to it. And then here you can see that camming action. This is the other part of locking up to your bolt. When you're reinserting your bolt, you don't have to hit that pin again. It goes straight in. Now when bringing up your bolt, it comes up once and then you lift it up one more time. And that's just that locking action. That way it doesn't slip, but yet it comes back very smoothly. And it's a really short throw. I mean, it's like that 22 is not long, so it's really fast. The tactical model has a 20-inch heavy profile barrel with a straight taper. So it's going to give you that extra weight. It's a 1 16th twist. Barrel's threaded 1/2 by 28, and we have a thread protector. Nice smooth threads. And there is a crown, so that's going to also preserve accuracy. And this is great for a suppressor or for even a muzzle brake. Now a nice squared off trigger guard, great for gloved hands, but it has one of the Remington 700 pattern triggers. And these are adjustable, but they're set for 4.5 pounds at the factory. We'll take a look at it when we disassemble the gun. It has that curve, the traditional Remington 700 trigger. We're going to check the trigger pull action. Guys, there's no take up. It's a very crisp break. We're going to check the trigger pull weight with our Lyman trigger gauge from Brownells. 4 pounds, 4.9 ounces. 4 pounds, 12.1 ounces. As they say, these are factory set at the Springfield Armory factory at 4.5 pounds. Now it does come with a composite stock, and this is the Sage with what they call the black webbing, and it just has black accents. They also produce this in a black version. And again, this is based on the Waypoint composite stock that's on their centerfire rifles. It has a 13.45 inch length of pull, very comfortable rubber butt pad with spacer, and the cheek piece is raised to be able to get you to that right height for your scope. Contours all across it, a little step down, and then we have our pistol grip. It's got some palm swells in it, so it really feels your hand. And it's very well textured all the way here and back here at the back. Up here at the handguard, again, you have that texturing on both sides. It does have those contoured points, so there's no sharp edges. And with the trigger housing, you can see how tight that fit is. And it's all throughout the rifle. Sling swivel stud here at the front, great for your bipods or for a sling. Here at the rear, you have another sling mount stud. And at the bottom of the pistol grip, we do have a black cap. Also, under the trigger guard, we have an American flag. Well, guys, we mounted one of the Primary Arms R-Grid 2Bs. This is a first focal plane scope. It's 4x14. It's overkill for this rifle, no doubt. I didn't have a rimfire scope to mount on here. Actually, I didn't have the rings. It's a 1-inch ring that I needed. And so I went ahead and mounted this on there. And Primary Arms makes some incredible scopes anyway. So I knew that we could do really well with this. Once we got it sighted in, and we did. They're making some of the best medium price scopes out on the market, and their reticle systems are some of the best. Now, included with the rifle, you get your scope mount, and this is what they call the Picatinny interrupted scope. So you have two different sections of Picatinny rail, then you have just a smooth section in the center that make this one piece. Marked on the left-hand side of the receiver, we have 2020 rimfire. And here on the barrel, we have Target 22 long rifle, Rotary, made in Turkey. I did a little research on Rotary, and they make really premium shotguns. And so while Turkey is putting out some really great quality guns, this is one of the best out there. Just like the XD series and the Echelon, which are imported from Croatia, this one is imported from Turkey. We really appreciate Fiocchi for sponsoring the ammo, all made in the USA, one of the largest suppliers of ammunition in the country. We're going to be shooting some standard target load, standard velocity. We've also got some Federal gold medal match. We're just going to check when we do our accuracy test. But these use really the standard pattern Ruger mags, which are very dependable, and they interchange very easily. So that makes it really nice. The Springfield Armory mags are marked on the bottom, but pretty much here's a Ruger mag. I mean, they are identical. Guys, this was a huge surprise for me with a 2020 rimfire from Springfield. A bolt action 22 rimfire rifle. And with the Target model, it gives you that heavier bull barrel, gives it a lot of heft to it, really nice stock sitting behind the bench, nice generous bolt, loads those rounds in really smooth. And you can actually load them pretty quick. I mean, it's just a very short stroke. I love rimfire, taking it out. It's just low report, it's inexpensive to shoot. Great even for first time shooters, even though this would be a heavier rifle. Love the mount already installed, so it's ready for, whatever optic you're gonna put on it. Ready for a bipod, which I've used quite a bit with this one. But surprise, but yet, man, it has a lot of quality. And it uses those Ruger mags, which makes it just easy. Not a proprietary mag. The butt pad just attaches. I mean, it really helps just to solidify. No recoil really on the rifle. Nice grip here, pistol grip. Stock is really nice. The wood version, I love it. But this gives it just more of a target feel, more of a tactical feel. I'm really surprised, but I'm pleasantly surprised. All right, guys, for disassembly, we're just going to drop our magazine, go ahead and check to make sure the gun's unloaded. There are 2 screws in your trigger housing. They're 5x32 hex. So we just remove those. It doesn't take a lot, even though these are pretty decent sized screws, which I like. Sometimes it seems like you go forever. You can actually turn up your action and the screws will fall out. Just remember that the longer screw goes in the back and the shorter screws up front. Then just pull out your rifled action. And then you can pull out your trigger. It's really tight in there, which I kind of like because it means that it's fit very well. Honestly, with the classic version, it wasn't quite as tight. It just has some tension and it's going to make it really stable. The housing is aluminum, which makes it nice. It's not plastic, and you know, it's pretty simple. You have your ejector right here, but otherwise it's just simple. Guys, we have that Remington 700 pattern trigger. This is, been proven. Yes, the triggers had some problems because of Freedom Group, honestly, but these are really great triggers. Then, of course, you have your safety right here and that lever. Very positive. Right here, you have your trigger adjustment, and it's actually this bottom screw. You can just loosen or tighten that if you want to adjust your trigger pull. But again, this is set for 4.5 pounds by the factory. And on the trigger, we do have serrations. One thing I thought was interesting is the chamber configuration is a little bit different. It actually kind of protrudes out a little bit, which will actually aid in more reliable feeding. Here we have ribs that go all along the stock, and this just gives you more strength. All right, guys, when it comes to reassembly, I'm going to go ahead and put in our action first. Make sure it's fit into the stock. Bring in your trigger housing. Again, it's got a little bit of just tight fit, which is great. We'll put that longer screw here at the back, shorter screw at the front. One thing too is you don't want to tighten one down before you get the other one. And it just will bind just a touch. All I do is just get it going started, and then I can go ahead and bring in my other one. And then just tighten them down. Now this little dip in the stock actually helps you to get your bolt in and out. So that is one of the purposes of that little dip. And it locks down. Reinsert our magazine, and we're back in business. Retail price of the Model 2020 Tactical is $434 in the black version. With the Sage, with the black webbing, it's $499 manufacturer suggested retail. Of course, market price will be less. If you're looking toward the classic model, they start out with the basic wood finish at $529. And again, we have a full review of the classic model. Now the weight without the stock or the bipod is 7 pounds, 7 ounces. So it weighs about a pound more than the standard classic model, which aids in this just sitting at the bench a little more stable. The composite stock is very well made. You can just fit right behind it with the cheek piece getting right next to your scope. Very nice palm swells with the grip, the pistol grip, and the texturing. Contoured, no sharp edges anywhere. Of course, you know, you're texturing at the front. Of course, you can put your bipod, you can get your sling. Heavy profile barrel with a straight taper. 1/2x28 threads for a suppressor or for a muzzle brake. Enlarged bolt handle. You also have an extended magazine release. And guys, when you're sitting behind the bench, this just makes an excellent rifle. It's very stable. Again, you just fit right to it, and you're really able, again, just to focus right on your accuracy. While this did surprise me that Springfield Armory came in with a 22, this is a beautiful rifle, excellent for the bench, excellent for the field, but definitely set up as a target rifle. Then again, if you want that classic model that's great for the field, check out their classic version. A number of different walnut grade stocks, tapered barrel, lightweight, handy, and very accurate. And again, a big thanks to GetZone.com and Springfield Armory for helping make this review possible. So guys, check out GetZone.com for great video content. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America, long live the Republic. so we wanted to do separate Ravidians. More setting at a bench, more accuracy. No, not more accuracy. And then just lift up your bolt and it comes right Woo! Comes flying out. And there is an incredibly quick, crisp brake. Quisp. There's a quisp brake. There's a quisp brake with this. High power variable scope, 4 to what? 4 to what? 4 to 14. It's 4 by 16, 14. While this did surprise me with Springfield Armory coming in with a 22 long rifle right here.
Lie down.
Hold on, hold on, hold on.
Well, dang.
This is a great option for me. This is a great option. This is a great option for that. Good Lord.